y'all? I am, I think I figured this out, y'all. So I'm officially on, and some of these platforms, I don't even know the name of them, so I can't even begin to say what I'm on. Shout out to you. I'm on 8 different platforms, y'all. I thought I had to do this in my office on a computer, but I figured out, it's taking me 3 phones so I can be on 8 platforms, right? I figured out how to get on 6 different platforms on one of my phones, and of course, that's this platform. But I know also we on YouTube and Facebook over here, as well as TikTok, Instagram. Thank you for the gifts over here on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. Um, Hopefully the audio is good on Facebook and YouTube. Again, I had to figure because I was like, man, sitting in my office every time is gonna be a lot for me because I don't really like sitting in my office a lot unless I'm doing research. So I said, let me try to figure this out. Let me add my other phone and see if I can figure out this thing to do it all over the place. So we're gonna try this. Hopefully that it's working out and the sound is good on all platforms. Um, Hear me good on IG. Shout out to y'all. I know I'm good on TikTok. It looks like Facebook I'm okay. YouTube, I think I'm okay. I'm not sure on YouTube. I can't tell the difference on this multiple screen on here, but hopefully I'm good on all the platforms. But honestly, y'all, I wanted to get on here. I'm good on YouTube too. Appreciate you for doing that for me, fam. Um, Wanted to get on here and chop it up with y'all. Today is Thursday. It's a beautiful day. I hope everything that you all have set out to do, you all have done and accomplished. Tomorrow is the end of the week. I know yesterday we finished off talking about doing what you do for your job, for yourself. We talked about jumping into the challenge for the most part, and we had a group of people, obviously, that are starting their journey as far as then getting out of their own rat race. Look, I really like to get on these platforms realistically, and again, just share free information, provoke some thought. Really, um, a lot of times when you have individuals that jump on social media, their purpose is to sell you some type of product or service, or make you the product or service. What's going on, Miss Linda? Appreciate you. Or make you the product and or the service. And while that's all fine and well because everybody gotta get it how they get it. And I'm not mad at people for doing that. But as a person that spent a lot of money trying to figure things out, what's up, Miss Pauline? What's happening? As a person that spent a lot of money trying to figure things out, I'm just gonna say that I'm the person that's gonna get on here and just share for free. I mean, because the information is free anyway. What I do in life has no impact on you for real, and what you do in life don't have an impact on me. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So I hope that as we are having this little bit of a dialogue, I'm gonna call it one-sided dialogue, I guess, that we have tonight. I hope it's some information that you can pick up and possibly use. Because the reality of it is the stuff that I talk about, you should be able to use right away. There is no time frame you got to wait to try to see these things happening. As long as you thinking, researching, and taking action, you can actually do some of this stuff right away. Some of the stuff obviously is long term, but a lot of it is something that you can do just to get started right now. So if you're gonna take notes, take notes. What I'm gonna start doing on these platforms, as I'm going through these lives and stuff like that, I've started now trying to put them on different platforms like a YouTube, all these different platforms where I can put this information. because people are starting to ask more and more, where can I see the replay? So I will get those up and running so you guys can see the replays itself, and use them however you want to use them. I mean, it is what it is. I don't really matter to me. But for those that are new, because again, I am on 8 different platforms right now. I'll start off by obviously introducing myself. I go by Zabo 103. I am a person that get on social media and give information that you normally pay for free. If I've had the experience in it, I talk about it. If I'm doing some of the things that you're hearing, I'm talking about it. It is what it is. Just to give a little bit of a background on myself, and some of the people that are on these platforms, they know me from Bank of America, right? I worked at Bank of America for 20 years, made it to a pretty decent position, and I'm going to call it a decent position, because I made it to, basically an executive level without a college degree. And I gotta know something. I will say this is a safe place. I'm not one of those individuals that's gonna really get too distracted by a lot of things in the comments. But all I ask is, if you are in the comments and you're chatting with folks, try to be as respectful as possible, because the reality of it is, we on the platform trying to do something different than what's normally seen on some of these platforms, right? If you are looking to try to derail, or you're looking to try to get a reaction, this is probably not the platform you should be on, because the reality of it is, um, we ain't really feeding into that stuff. So just to kind of, okay, all right, well, I guess I said that just in time. We already got somebody on one of the platforms already showing out already. So we're gonna help that individual go ahead and figure out how to get into another live platform, and do those things that that individual want to do. But just to kind of dip back into it again, I worked at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree. I left Bank of America once I made my yearly salary in a month. And I I share that because I want people to understand that um, anybody can do this stuff. I know if I can do this stuff, anybody can do this stuff. Um, like I said, I barely got a high school diploma, and I share that information because I want people to understand, like, none of this stuff is outside of your reach. If you are willing to think, do some research, and take some action, you can obtain anything that you really want to obtain, as long as it's legal. If it's legal, what's up, family? If it's legal, nothing's really stopping you but you. And that's just the truth. Um, some of the things that you have to wrap your brain around, obviously, is that, how you look at money. If you look at money from a perspective of that is primarily used to pay bills, you're gonna have to redirect that energy and put that thought into, only purpose for money is to make money. It just is what it is. So it's a little bit of a mind shift. And some of the stuff that you're gonna start working through, um, you're not necessarily going to, how can I say this? You're not necessarily, it's not going to be necessarily something that you're used to hearing. So I would just ask, for those the moments in this conversation, if it's things that you hear that you've never heard before you say that's not right, you do it this way and not that way, I want you to think about your current situation and where you're at. I want you to think about your current situation and where you at. That's what I want you to think about. Um, That's what's up, Steven. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And congrats in advance. Let me just say that. Um, home on 2.5 acres. Yeah, that's super amazing. So shout out to you. We just gonna claim it already. Um, but if it's something you're not used to hearing, it's okay. Sit back and listen to it. Then I advise you to do some thinking, do some research, and if what you find through your research, if you find there's validity to what you're hearing, take action on it. Because the reality of it is, whether you take action on it or not, doesn't really benefit me. It only benefits you. So let's get into it, y'all. Yesterday, we've been talking about those four buckets for the last few days. And if you've been on my platform long enough, you're going to hear me repeat some of the things because repetition is what's going to keep you in the game. It just is what it is. So we were talking about business, land, insurance policies, and trust. So yesterday we got into a lot of conversation around the business aspect of it. And that business aspect of it is just not your own business, it can actually be your job too. So that's important. If you got a job and you don't have a business and you're doing this process, it may take you a little bit longer than a person that actually have a business because they're probably able to generate more money than what you can generate on your job. And that's just in most cases, right? Um, we talked a little bit about the land piece of it, right? And the importance of buying land. The property piece, rental properties, homes for sale, things of that nature. You can realistically do some work there, but land is really the key. As an unofficial mentor, I want to give you a oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You 30 days away from closing on your investment property, new construction. Shout out to you. This is the stuff that I love to hear, y'all. Like, I didn't make no money from it. Just want everybody to be clear. But over here on Instagram, I ain't gonna call your name out. Somebody that I know that I used to work with at Bank of America took the advice that they heard me share on these live, and they're 30 days from closing on a new property, new construction that is. Oh, that's super amazing. Shout out to you. For real, for real. I think that's the part that I get excited about because it's like, listen, this is really my way of giving back to the community, regardless of what it is. And when I say my community, I'm not talking about just the people that look like me. I'm talking about the people that are in community with me. That's just what it is. So this is amazing to hear stuff like this. So shout out to y'all for y'all taking y'all steps. Shout out to y'all for, just taking action. It's an amazing feat. So shout out to you and congrats again, and much success continue on your journey. But back to this land piece. So we're talking about the land piece. We talked about it. We talked about it. We talked about it. Getting the land, not necessarily for you, but you're getting the land to put in your trust for your kids. Because we remember in the trust, $12.92 million, anything over that number, when you leave this planet, cash-wise, is going to get taxed at 40%. Land is not in that equation. It's a beautiful thing. And as long as that's the law, it's the law. I can't do nothing different about it. I'm just a law-abiding citizen. And you should be a law-abiding citizen too. That's just what it is. The other piece are your policies. I'm starting to hear people talking more about getting the policies, the whole life insurance policies. I'm hearing people talk about more about, being real responsible within their actions when it comes to, if I gotta take money out of this policy for whatever reason, it's only to make money. That's it. Not all this other stuff you hear people are talking about on social media when it comes to, they told me some infinity banking stuff. I'm taking the money out of my policy and I'm gonna go buy a car. And instead of me paying the bank interest, I'm gonna pay myself back interest. I get why you're doing it, but that's not what it's supposed to be used for. What's up, Roy? That's not what it's supposed to be used for. I understand that you may think that's the case, and you might think that's helping you win, but it's really not helping you build wealth. Not even close. You got to use these different things for what they're supposed to be used for. And then we talked a lot about the trust, right? So we talked about trust being private, business being public. Roof over your head goes into trust. Roof over somebody else's head goes into the business. We talked about that. Then we got on how do you do these things from where you're currently at? And that's where we left off at. So we're going to pick up right there. Remember, you're getting you a property, no matter if you got to go through a land bank auction, no matter if you have to, to buy term life insurance, not whole life. Yeah, Eric. I mean, term life insurance policy have their benefits. If you depend on your strategy, but the term policies, they're cheaper, but they only have a death benefit. The whole life insurance policy, a little bit more expensive than the term, but it has a living benefit, which is a cash value benefit that you can use while you're living, and it also have a death benefit. So I understand that we hear the things with the terms mainly because it's cheaper and you can get more money out of it, but it's not going to help you build wealth in the way that you want it to help you build wealth. So for the sake of this conversation, because we're talking about building wealth, we're talking about whole life insurance policies. The term piece can be a strategic play. And I'll give you an example on what I mean, right? They definitely live out that term. And you just put all that money into it and then getting at the return from it. So that's a whole nother situation. But let's just say for the sake of argument, right? Let's say you up in age, right? And a whole life insurance policy might cost you a pretty penny that you really can't afford. But you have a kid, right? And you want to put a whole life insurance policy on them that can be pretty healthy because they're a kid. Well, as the parent, your policy got to be double what their policy is. So let's give an example. Let's say you can afford a $500,000 insurance policy for your kid. You need $1 million policy on yourself. Now, you probably can't afford that $1 million policy on the whole life, but on a term, you could. $1 million on a whole life policy for yourself might cost you $1,500. I don't know. I'm just throwing the number out there, right? But for your kid, it might not cost you them about, to get a $500,000, them about $300, $400, $500 a month. I don't know. But you can get a term $1 million policy, and it won't cost you probably no more than $150, $160, something like that. And these are just rough numbers; they're not exact. So strategically, it will make sense if you were doing it for that purpose. But if you're just getting a term policy and that's just it, it doesn't really work in this equation because that living benefit is very important. Very important. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. So just kind of work through with your broker or your agent, whoever you got your policy from or whoever you're getting your policy from, and talk through it with them. I will tell you that, right, you absolutely can. Do I need use my address or use post office box? Your address is fine. If you want to use if you have your home address, you can use a home address. If you got a virtual office, you can do that too. Either way is fine. Most times what you'll see, especially when you start applying for business credit, they're going to be trying to look for a physical address. So a virtual office still works. What's up, family? but you just gotta you gotta figure out what your purpose is. But let me go back into it because we got to get back to, we was at the starting point, right? And I got kind of little derailed. But we talked about, you know, getting that property, getting that land, whether you're going to a land bank auction, whether you're buying it off one of the websites for a house, whether you know somebody or you already got a property, you're trying to do this stuff, right? We talked about if you're going into some form of new construction and you're building a home, you can get more of the equity out when you refinance once that tenant is in there and the home is finished being built. We talked about that piece of it. We talked about the tenant not only paying back the mortgage that you just refinanced, even some of that tax-free money that you got, right? We also talked about that tenant paying for a new whole life limited pay insurance policy, right? Um, if you have a construction loan, you should be able to refinance it as soon as the actual construction is done. It's similar, the term that you probably heard, they have the construction loan that some banks do. Some banks don't do them at all, but some banks do construction loans. And then they have like hard money lenders as well. I'm not going to talk too much about hard money lenders. And the only reason I'm not going to talk too much about them because the money can be very expensive. It can be very expensive. And I don't necessarily want to go too in depth with that. If you are experienced with, maybe buying and flipping homes or rehabbing houses and using a hard money lender, absolutely do what you do because you can kind of navigate that world a little bit better. But if you don't have experience with it, I'm not gonna say don't do it if you have to, but try to go through a bank because you're gonna get more of a partnership when it's time for them to build these homes. With a hard money lender, they're gonna it's the same concept. You're getting a draw from the money, but you got to be on top of your game as far as in making sure the property is built out the way it need to be built out. So you don't really have that assistance that you would get with the bank, if that makes sense. So I won't talk too much about that. But construction loans should be able to refinance out as soon as the home is done being built. It really should be that simple. Um, Once you've done that process, you're just repeating. We talked about, just recapping the example of the amount. So you got a $500,000 insurance policy as you done your first process of this. $500,000 insurance policy, right? $200,000 home, that's in the example that we use. And then you got $60,000 in your pocket tax free. This is all in the example that we use, right? So realistically, you got about $760,000 in net worth. And it shouldn't take you no more than really 6 months to accomplish that. So if you can do these twice a year, we talked about that number being somewhere around about $1.52 million in a year. We also talked about you not making that on your job. Not even close. Majority of people that got their own business ain't making that type of money. It just ain't happening. I know people gonna hit me with you need to jump into some cryptocurrency. You ain't making that doing cryptocurrency either. You ain't making that doing Forex either. And the gift behind this is, even though it's gonna require your attention, but you physically working is minimal. And I'm talking about working this process. Going to the auction, getting the land, that's gonna take some work, right? Getting the trees cleared out, that ain't gonna take much work other than making a couple of calls to figure out, what you need to do to get the trees cleared, right? Getting the actual construction loan, that ain't gonna take a lot of work other than trying to figure out who got the best deal with the loan that you can get. And that's just what it need to be. If I own the land and want to build a duplex, I don't know. It depends on where state you're in. It depends on a lot of different variables. I would suggest that you get with a builder, and you can do some quotes out from all of it, right? Get some quote out, some different quotes, some different builders. And if you're trying to build a duplex, they can, make sure that the area that where you're trying to build a duplex, you can put a duplex in it, right? But make sure the builder, whichever one you decide to go with, they'll be able to give you kind of a price on what it will actually cost or how much cash you would need. But even once the builder give you how much cash you would need, if you have that amount of cash to play with, so let me use your example for a second. If you're trying to build a duplex and you find out it is $250,000 that you need to build it, and that's the cash that you need on hand to go build that duplex, even once you find out that that's what it is and the builder has given you that number, I would tell you, don't give that builder your cash. Go to the bank and get the partnership with the bank to do it. It's going to protect you from a builder taking your money and running off. It just is what it is. And that can be a very expensive lesson. You don't want that type of expensive lesson. It just is what it is. I will tell you, we on home number 29 right now. And for the people that's been on my live for some time, we've been on home 29 for a minute. We done went through 2 different builders on home number 29. And we just spent because we've been coming out of our pocket on all these properties because I've been a little arrogant. I said to myself on home number 30, I'm going to the bank because we shelling out money. And a lot of the stuff got done, but some of the stuff ain't getting done. And yeah, you got contracts in place and all the other stuff. But even though you got contracts in place, if you have a builder run off on you and you got contracts in place, you still got to spend money to take them to court. It just is what it is. So you want to try to avoid that as much as possible because it can get very expensive. And that's just what it is. So we talked about it in a year, $1.52 million, right? That's where we were at. We talked about doing this for the next 5 years, right? Once you have done this for the next 5 years, it sounds like roughly around about $7.5 million in net worth. So we can recap that. That's $5 million in whole life insurance policy that your tenant is paying. That's $2 million in homes, and that's the value of the homes that your tenant is paying, and $600,000 tax-free in your pocket that the tenant is paying. You're not making that money on your job, y'all. I know everybody want to claim they make so much money at work. You're not making that much money on your job. It ain't happening. It just ain't. And for all the business owners out there, shout out to y'all. But you ain't making that on your business either. And the amount of work that it took for you to accomplish this is still minimal. So I'm saying that to say this. Even if you don't know what business you want to start, even if you're afraid to go in business, during this process, you really ain't conducting a lot of business. The most business that you're doing in this process is being a landlord. And even with you being a landlord, you can hire a property management team to go check on the property, to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. The tenants are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And when the payments come in, obviously not going to the property manager. They go into your whatever accounts you got set up for it, right? And you're paying the property manager on a monthly basis or however you decide to pay them, right? But the point that I'm making is you're just a landlord and you have minimum work you need to do. You can hire a maintenance crew to be on standby for your properties. They don't have to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but they can be on call. So if something goes wrong in your new construction home, they can go out and repair these things. And it costs you minimum amount of money that you still ain't paying for, the tenant paying for it. That's where the magic happens in this situation, y'all. So when I think about this process that I'm sharing with you guys, with all of you all, I should say, I want to say that don't be afraid that when it's time to jump off the porch from your job or from your business, because your business is requiring too much of your time, and you got to get out of the rat race of trading your time for money and trade your money for time. Don't be afraid to jump out there. Imagine you've been on your job for 5, 6 years. Your net worth on your job, or you've been working your business for 5 or 6 years. Your net worth on your job and your business is what? You don't have to say it in the chat. Say it to yourself because you know yourself better than me, and I don't want to know. But say that, ask yourself, what is your net worth? I'm not talking about all the things that money can't buy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about truly your net worth of money. Then ask yourself, in 5 years of doing this, is your net worth $7.5 million? If the answer is no, you're working 100 times more at your job or your business than you are in the process that I just explained. And I'm going to tell you, working your job at that point, 5 years of doing that, you done built the net worth for $7.5 million. Whether you work in a job, whether you work in a business, if your network is not that after 5 years in your job or your business, that's the juice that's not worth the squeeze. Because the reason why you're doing your job or your business, no matter how much you say you love what you do, you love the people in your home or the people that you consider your why more than you love your job or your business. Because that's why you're doing any of those things. So don't be afraid to jump off the porch. In fact, when you jump off the porch, you're going to increase that net worth minimally double within the first year that you leave your job. And the only reason I'm saying it is because you're going to have more time to think. You're going to have more time to research. You're going to have more time to take action. Think about what I said when I shared my story. I left Bank of America when I made my yearly salary in a month. Keep in mind, I had made my yearly salary in 26 days. Now, my yearly salary I make in a few days because I had more time to think, research, and take more action. And that's the gift. And I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it probably till, yeah, it's definitely hard, Steve. You're right about it. It's definitely hard to let go what you feel like is security. That's a fact. But I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. I'm so confident that the process works, I'm giving it to y'all for free. It just is what it is. There's not a whole bunch of benefits for me sharing this information other than seeing how excited people get when they are accomplishing certain things. They got this milestone they accomplished, and seeing the excitement that they have that they can do this. That's the most that I get out of it, right? The person that wins the most out of these conversations is you. Because most of the time, when you're in an environment where there are people that know a little bit more than you or a lot more than you, you should just be listening. I'm on this platform talking because I'm sharing the information that I use and that I know, right? But when I be out and about and I be in these different arenas, I should say, with people, I ain't talking. I'm normally sitting there listening, trying to figure out what it is I need to be doing, or trying to listen for that $1 billion trillion message that somebody said that they don't even know they said. Because I'm the person that's gonna think about, well, wait, what do they mean by this? What? Okay, let me think about that for a minute. Did they mean this? How can you do something like that? Could you do this? Let me research and see if I can do something like that for real. Oh, I can do something like that? I'm putting it into action. I hear people say all type of stuff, and I just sit and I listen. Because the reality of it is, most people have amazing ideas, have amazing thought patterns. They have amazing things they can do, but they don't have the ability to put it into action. User 9906, I was just explaining it. I'll go back over it because I think you might have just got here, but I'll go back over it. So let's go back down through the process again, because it looks like we just got a boatload of new people on the platform. This is not YouTube. This is something else. I know YouTube is in here too, but I just got an influx of like 70 people in this one platform. That was weird. Shout out, yeah, welcome. So I'll repeat it because there's a lot of new people in here. That's fine. Yep, action takers are the money makers. You're right about that. That's a fact. That's 100% fact. So let's just start it off, y'all. So we talked about doing what you do for your job for yourself. That's important, right? And what I mean by that is, if you doing this for somebody else, aka your job, you can do the job for yourself. So the very first thing you got to do is these three things. And it's a secret to everything you want to do. You got to think, you got to research, and you got to take action. Those three things you have to do. And it's not like you're going to do this one time. You're going to do this for the rest of your life. So if you're in the mindset that's not sustainable, anything you put your mind to is sustainable. I'm just telling you, it is what it is. Because once you jump off the porch, meaning leave your job or leave your business, you're not going to have a choice but to make it sustainable. And that's just the truth. All right? So thinking, research, taking action. That's the secret. Keep that in mind as I'm sharing. Think about the job that you do currently today. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what. If you're getting a paycheck from it, it's a job that you can do for yourself. That's just a fact. And the reason why I'm saying it is, if you're getting a paycheck from a job, I guarantee you're making 1,000 times whatever your salary is for your job. I'll give you an example. When I was at Bank of America, I used to generate them $720 million a year, $60 million a month. I was responsible directly and indirectly for 459 people. I had a small group called the Small Business Credit Card Unit for small business for Bank of America on the collection side of the house. So when you would hear the loss numbers for small business credit card for Bank of America, I was the person reporting numbers to the street. They had a goal of $60 million a month. We couldn't miss that number, y'all. If we missed that number, somebody was getting performance managed out. We never missed. We couldn't. It just was what it was. So put that in perspective. Worked at Bank of America 20 years as an executive without a college degree, generating them $720 million a year. They paid me a couple $100,000 a year. But I generated them $720 million a year. When I decided to jump off the porch of Bank of America, when I made my yearly salary, my vision was, if I can get this 50% right, I can generate $360 million a year. Boy, was I wrong. I was super wrong. I was overzealous. It just was what it was. I jumped off the porch, got a 1% right. It generated me millions. So what am I saying? If you have a job right now, you just got off work, how much money did you make for your job today? And there's a number. There's 100% a number. Because if you're not hitting that number, you don't have a job. And that's the truth. $120 million versus 180,000, a couple 100,000. Oh yeah, still killed it. Here's the crazy part. I'm only at 3% getting it right now. Think about what I just said. I used to generate $720 million for the bank. As of today, I'm only still getting it 3% right. I'm still pushing to get it 10% right. Those 8 different businesses that I'm a member of, wink, wink, and no longer the owner, I'm just a member of those 8 different businesses, will generate $20 million this year. I'm only at 3% right. Think about that. That number that you make for your job every single day, you can do it for yourself. Guaranteed. That's the truth. Geez, I don't even know at this point. It's been some years. It's been some years now. I started this journey about 8 years ago. I didn't start getting this journey right till about 3 years ago. About 3 years. Almost. No, I'm sorry. This is August of 2023. It's about 4 years now. About 4 years I've been getting this process right. And I've been moving. Meanwhile, I ain't really working, y'all. If I work 60 hours this year for 2023, that's a stretch. But when I was at Bank of America, I was working 2,400 hours a year. Can't even make that number up if I wanted to. And that's just what it is. But let me go back to it. So, how much money are you making for your job today? You can calculate that number. I don't care if you work for a non-profit organization. It's still a number if you're getting a paycheck. And that's just what it is. So let me put that disclaimer out there. All right. Once you calculate that number on how much you made for your job today, multiply that by 30 days. I know you don't work 30 days every month, and that's okay. You want to multiply by 30 days because that's what you have the ability to do. Because when you go into business and you start doing what I'm talking about, you get money every day. That includes holidays too, people. So if that number, let's just use it for the sake of argument, let's just say on your job is $10,000 a day every day you go to work. 10 business days, that's $100,000. That's $400,000 a month that you generate for your job. Now, if you generate just $10,000 a day for your job in a month, that's 20 working days. You generated $400,000 for the whole month for your job. How much does your job pay you? I can give you the answer in that month because everybody on social media make $100,000 a year. I get it. Congratulations, you still broke. And that's the truth. You just got after taxes $6,200 off of the $400,000 you made for your job. And that's the truth. I can't even make it up. That $6,200 was deposited in your checking account that you think is a holding facility. It just happened to be a lending institution. I know somebody gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it first. This lending institution that you think is a holding facility that's got your money in their account, what they doing with your money? The bank don't even keep their money in the bank. Think about that. They lending your money to a person like me that understands the power of zero. Wow. When they lend that money to me, the person that understands the power of zero, or people like me, what do you think we're doing? Buying toilet paper, buying soap, buying paper plates, bottled water, the stuff y'all buy every day, toothpaste. And then we turn around and sell it to you for 5 times what it's worth using your money. Oh, yeah. Definitely gonna give it back because you gotta know. Because when you know better, you do better. So how do you change that cycle? Because again, the banks don't even put their money in the bank. In fact, if you put over $250,000 in the bank, the bank tell you as soon as you walk in the door, any office you go in, there's a plaque there. It's on the front door. FDIC. They only insuring up to $250,000 anyway. Words matter. So what do? I do what the banks do, and I do what the wealthy people do. I ain't listening to no gurus on social media. So here's my advice. I ain't telling y'all to listen to me. Do what the banks do. Do what the wealthy people do. It just is what it is. Even I be having family and friends, they tell me, I heard you do this. You should do this because I heard this is better than that. And I was like, where'd you hear from? The bank? Somebody wealthy? Show me where they did it. If you can't show me where the banks and the wealthy people did it, I ain't wasting my time. I ain't doing it. You don't know more money. You don't know more about money than the banks. You definitely don't know more about building wealth than somebody that's been wealthy for 2, 3, 4, 500 years. I'm doing what they do. And that's just the truth. So let me get back in it because I didn't got on my pill because people trying to figure out, well, what do I do? All right, you went through that process. Now what you're going to do, you're making your job $400,000 a year. They paying you $6,200 a month after taxes if you make $100,000 a year. So what are you doing? You're going to do what you do for your job for yourself. If you work in a call center and you're doing collections, there's companies out there that sell debt and they'll sell it to you for pennies on a dollar. You know what your collection rate is on your job right now. You can go buy the debt yourself for pennies on a dollar. I showed a young man a couple of weeks ago a website that sell debt. Everybody debt. Bank of America, Citibank, Chase, whoever. It didn't matter. $300,000 worth of debt, they were selling for $3,600. So he told me he had a 50% collection rate. You got a 50% collection rate, man, you need to come up with $3,600. Go get that $300,000 worth of debt and go collect on that $300,000. You got a 50% collection rate. You're doing this every 30 days. You're telling me you got a 50% collection rate. You can go collect $150,000 in 30 days off of the $300,000 imbalances, and you only spent $3,600. You just did what you do for your job for yourself. I had somebody who tell me they do security. Man, they got that contract. They get $50 an hour for you, and they paying you $20. Go get that contract for $40 an hour. You know the job like the back of your hand. You've been doing this job for how long? Somebody told me they drive Uber, and they've been doing Uber Eats. You can start your own limo service. You got a vehicle, clearly. You don't want to do limo service? You can go and get to these companies. You know what they paying you, whether it's Uber, whatever, a fraction is coming to you. The rest is going to them. It's still a job, y'all. You can go to these restaurants and contract yourself out for a lot more than what you're making from Uber, but a lot less than what Uber's charging up front for them. There's nothing off the table. You work at a nonprofit organization. Are you the person that's talking to the people that's doing the donation? Are you the person that's writing the actual grants to get the money? Are you the person that's putting together the campaign? You can do all this stuff for yourself. Think of it this way. If you have a business and you have employees, and the employees are doing a service that's generating money, would you give your employees the whole amount? Think about this. Think about it. Say you got an office building, you got a call center, and everybody in the call center generating $100,000 a day. Would you take that whole $100,000 and get a whole $100,000 to all the employees? You win. It'll be grand opening, grand closing the very first day if you did that. You're gonna give them a fraction of what they gave you, and that's the truth. So let's not overthink this process. It's really just simple. Okay. So you have this job. Now you're thinking about, I'm going to do what I do for my job for myself. How do I do that? I'm going to think about how to do it. You know the job like the back of your hand. So there's no 2-year learning curve for your business. You already know the job. Then you're going to research. How do I do what I'm doing for my job for myself? And then you're going to take some action. As you're going on this journey, you might decide, I don't want to do what I do for my job for myself. And if that's the case, then you're going to have to take a different route. This route, you have to take either way, but you're going to have to take this route faster if you're not going into business for yourself. No worries. I'm about to get into it right now. Let me just see something real quick. I think that's probably why I just followed you back. But think of it this way, y'all. These next things I'm about to share, you're going to have to get to this point because you're going to need them 4 buckets. It just is what it is. Thank you so much for the gifts over on TikTok. But here's the gift, y'all. Google land bank auction near me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Google land bank auction near me. Make that happen. Once you've Googled land bank auction near me, go to the land bank auction. It's just one place that you can go to. It's like a foreclosed auction, but for land. And when you buy the properties there, they free and clear. And did I mention the starting bid at these auctions are $3,000? A lot of people ain't even never heard of it before. People on my platforms have heard of it now, but there's a ton of people ain't never heard of it. It don't even be people there. Why am I going to the land bank auction? Why am I getting land? It's a part of the process. The banks and the wealthy understand how you build wealth is through properties and policies. Properties meaning land, policies mean whole life insurance policies. That's just what it is. So you go to the land bank auction, you do your due diligence, find you some land. Think about how much land costs an acre of land in the area where you live. Starting bid at these auctions is $3,000. Can you go get an acre of land where you live for $3,000? I'll wait. Can you get an acre of land for $5,000? I'll wait. It just is what it is. Once you've gotten that land, you want to start the process of doing a couple of things. First, you got to get the land clear. So if it has timber on there, if you got timber on the land, a timber company will pay you $4,000 an acre of timber to cut your trees. So imagine you went to a land bank auction, you spent $6 grand to get an acre of land, and then there's timber on it, and you get the timber company to come and cut them trees. They gonna cut your trees, and you ain't gotta pay them. They gonna pay you $4 grand for an acre of timber on your land to clear them. If you don't have timber on there, call your local paper company, negotiate them to come out and cut it for free. It is what it is. If you don't have no trees on your land and it's clear, congratulations. That's one step you ain't got to worry about. Then you got to go figure out how to get that construction loan. Go make it happen. Don't be afraid. Timber company or paper company. But don't be afraid. Research over me search too, y'all. Remember, thinking, research, and taking action is the key. But go and get that construction loan, because you need to build a new house right there for what I'm talking about. Hey, got to make it work. Once you have secured that construction loan, and I hear what people say, I need experience. Go find somebody got the experience, y'all. Don't make that the reason why you don't do this. Go talk to a veteran, see if they're partnering with you. You might have a family member. You might be a veteran. Go partner with a veteran. Go down there and get that construction loan. You ain't got the credit. All right, y'all. Let me meet my quota. If your credit ain't good, there's a company called LexisNexis. Reach out to LexisNexis. I've been told you can do this online too. Reach out to LexisNexis. LexisNexis is the company that houses all your information. Once you've reached out to LexisNexis, you want to tell them to freeze your CLUE report and your personal file. Once they've frozen your CLUE report and your personal file, now they're going to try to upsell you on some stuff. You don't need all that. They're going to send you a PIN number until you can freeze and unfreeze your CLUE report and your personal file at any time. It's a beautiful thing, and it's free. Once you've frozen your CLUE report and your personal file, reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian and get to disputing. If it's bad on your credit, get to disputing. We all know the credit bureaus have 30 days to verify your information. It just is what it is. When Equifax, TransUnion, Experian reaches out to verify your information, guess who they're reaching out to? LexisNexis. And being that your CLUE report of your personal file is frozen, nothing's coming back. And we all know what happens in 30 days if nothing comes back, right? It's coming off your credit. Congratulations, you just fix your credit for free. So mosey back up there to the bank and secure this construction loan. Make that happen. Once you got that construction loan, the bank is going to require you to get an approved builder to build this home, because the bank is instantly your partner. They have a vested interest in building this home and making sure they get a return on their investment, because they're giving you the money to build it. That means they're not giving the builder the money directly out the gate. The builder got to build. And as they building, they'll get a draw from the money to keep building after the bank has verified everything is up to code. That's going to prevent a builder running off with your money. Can hinder you from getting a loan? That's interesting. Well, I'll take that as some advice, I guess. If the dispute would hinder you from getting a loan, I would have to ask, what type of loan are you trying to get? Now, you're talking about if you're in dispute process while you're trying to get the construction loan, sure. Because while it's in dispute, the bank is not going to move. You're going to wait till this stuff drop off your credit. Sha was just over here on TikTok a couple of days ago. She actually followed the process that I told about LexisNexis. Within 60 days, Her credit score went from 580 to 668. Stuff started falling off her credit within 7 days. She told me it took 60 days. You can wait 60 days till the stuff is cleared off your credit before you go back to the bank and get that construction loan. It's just part of the process. So once you got that construction loan, as a person that then built 28 homes, and we've been on home number 29, y'all, so long, I'm going to stop saying it because I'm like, ugh. Yeah, if you got that settled debt on your credit, that's probably one you want to get off too. But nevertheless, I digress. Normally it takes whatever the value of the home is, but current disputes can stop you from getting the loan. Get messed up. Oh, yeah. I think we're probably saying the same thing, some of the same thing, Lisa. So let me say it this way. While you're in your dispute process, you're not applying for the actual construction loan. You're waiting till the dispute process is over, and then you're doing it. LexisNexis. Yeah, we're saying the same thing then. That makes sense. All right, cool. LexisNexis. Somebody type it in the chat because I can't tap it in over here for whatever reason. But somebody on TikTok, type in LexisNexis. There you go. Thanks, Stephen. So once you go back and you get that construction loan and you're making things happen, you got that builder that's building. Remember, normally, and this is only an example, so let me throw that out there because I know people are going to try to be literal right now. Don't be literal at this point. This part is an example. If you have a home, let's just say the value is $200,000. It's going to take you about $100,000 to build that house. You're not building a custom home. You're building a standard home for you to rent out. So the value of the home, $200,000. It's going to take about $100,000 to build that home. Again, as a person that then built 28 homes out their pocket, working on home number 29. In fact, y'all, I'm going to be live again at home number 29. We got a new build out there, so we got to do some other stuff. It is what it is. But I'll be live on Saturday in home number 29, so y'all really can see I really do what I'm talking about. Value the home $200,000, about $100,000 to build. Construction loan in effect should take you no more than 4 months to build that house. Once that home is finished and built up, what are you going to do? Put a tenant in it. $200,000 home. How much? Said you had dispute. No. You're disputing your credit stuff first. Once the stuff is off your credit, then you're going back and you're getting a construction loan. Yeah. There you go. Financial education said you got to wait till it's done. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. All right, so back to it. Once that home is built, you put a tenant in it. $200,000 house, that tenant paying minimally $2,000 a month on that house. It just is what it is. And if they spending $2,000 a month on this house, what are you doing at that point? Going back to the bank and refinance out of that construction loan. Once you have refinanced out of that construction loan, started that process, you're going to get an investor's loan, which means you're going to have a 20% down payment on that loan. But you got that 20% in the form of equity. Remember, the construction loan was $100,000. The house is worth $200,000. $40,000 in equity is going to help you with your down payment. Amazing. Once you get the tenant up in there, you can go back pretty quick because you were financing out of that construction loan. So watch this. Now you got this 80% loan, 80% on $200,000, $160,000. $100,000 gonna pay off that construction loan. You, my friend, $60,000 in your pocket tax free that the tenant paying for. I don't know what the mortgage is on $160,000, so I'm just gonna throw another example out here, but I'm just random number: $1,200 a month for a mortgage. But Airbnb collapse. People won't afford mortgage and rent. Homes will be selling cheaper. Maybe. That's not what I'm saying right now. But let's just go through it. You got this situated, right? You have a tenant paying $2,000. You got a mortgage for $1,200. The tenant paying the mortgage, and you got about $800 left over. You're gonna take a portion of that $800. We'll call it $200 for this example. Put it to the side for repairs on this newly built home. The other $600, what are you doing with it? Yes, yes, Miss B. What else are you doing with it? Going to get you a whole life insurance policy. So let's recap. Let's just say $600, whole life policy. Your health is your wealth. If you're healthy, the healthier you are, the bigger the policy you get. Of course, you got to be able to afford the policy, right? But about $600 a month, you healthy, you can get about a $500,000 insurance policy. Let's recap. $500,000 policy, $200,000 home. I got you. $200,000 home, $60,000 in your pocket, tax free. What are you doing after that? Repeating the process. This all started with you going to a land bank auction. Starting bid $3,000. Think about that. Oh, that's amazing. Think about that. I'm repeating the process. $760,000 net worth at the gate. Out the gate. I think it was financial education. He said it takes about 6 months. So imagine that. 6 months. You can do that twice a year. 2 different properties. Imagine that. If you did that same scenario twice a year, let's recap. Let's say it again. Now you got about $1 million in whole life insurance policy that the tenant paying for. You got about $400,000 based off of the example I gave in homes. You got $120,000 in your pocket tax free. Yeah, I don't really touch the cryptocurrency stuff. I do what the banks do, and I do what the wealthy people do. First 5-10 year payments on whole life doesn't build cash value. Okay. That's interesting. Now, Rob Law, are you like some type of agent or some type of broker for policies? Because I got a few people on TikTok that are, and maybe they can help us with that conversation. That's a new asset class. I believe you. Thanks, Stephen. It definitely depends on how it's structured. It's a new asset class. I get it. But think of it this way. And let's put something in perspective. Oh, no. You good. You good. You good. You good. You good. You good. Now, I just know we got a couple of people that are agents that do that stuff in real time on TikTok specifically. And I wanted to get a real situation. Do you have term? I haven't messed with the term policies yet because it doesn't It doesn't have the benefits that I need to build wealth. But well, I'm not gonna put their business out there. I know someone that has term because strategically it made sense for what they were trying to do. Let me say it that way. That makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. There you go, Stephen. So where was I at? Where was I at, y'all? Y'all keep me honest. Where was I at? We were talking about repeating this process 6 months at a time, making some stuff happen. Yeah, 6 months at a time. All right. So we talked about $1 million, doing it twice a year, $1 million in whole life insurance that your tenant paying for. $100,000 in the example for 2 homes that your tenant paying for, and $120,000 tax free in your pocket that the tenant paying for. Once you've done this, maybe by year 2, let's just call it $3 million net worth at that point, because you got realistically about $2 million in policies at that point. You got about $800,000 in properties at that point, and then you got about $240,000 in tax-free cash. So call it about $3 million, somewhere around there. A little bit over $3 million actually, but around $3 million net worth. If you don't have that business, you can make what we just talked about your business. It just is what it is. But you're going to want to just do a business and kind of separate it, because you want that business to be generating something. This is where you need to do what you truly love to do. Whatever it is you love to do, make it a business. If you love doing it, make it a business. What type of business? Well, I can't really speak on all of them. I can't speak on all of them, if that makes sense. Only got, I talk about the toilet paper company, Triumph Tissue. We talk about the real estate stuff. We talk about some of the shapewear stuff that we do. It's a lot of other stuff, but other stuff I can't talk about. No, I got you. So for the business perspective, you want to do what you love to do, whatever that may be. I'm with you on that. Do what you love to do. That's key. What's going on, family? Do what you love to do for your business. The properties, at that point, you want to start dumping your money into land. So if your business is what that process we just talked about, doing it twice a year, you getting that cash. After maybe 3 years, you want to start dumping your money into land. And here's how it's going to look. So if the process we just talked about is your business is generating whatever money is generating. In this case, not a lot of money, because a lot of your money is tax-free. But your business is going to have expenses. And then we'll just call it taxes for whatever it is. Everything you have after that, you're going to want to do a couple of things. So you got your business going. Now you're about to get your land. You got your insurance policies going. Now you got to go get that trust. So at that point, business making expenses, business making money, making the money to pay the taxes. The money that's left over, a percentage of that money is going to go into your trust checking account. The property the properties included a home where you live or just part. Only investment properties, because you're doing 2 separate things. And I'm going to go there for a minute, Ms. B. But you're doing 2 separate things there. So you're going to get the trust. What's happening, family? You're going to get the trust because the trust is going to be for everything that's private. The roof over your head, your home is going in your trust. The business is going to have everything that's public. The roof over your tenant's head is going to go in your business. I hope all is well. It's going to go in your business. And that's just what it is. So now, when you're making money on your business, and if your business is what we just talked about with that tax-free money, you're taking a portion of that money, putting it into your trust checking account, because you no longer have a personal checking account. It's been retitled to the trust. You're still an authorized user on it, but you don't own it. XRP? I don't know what you're talking about. Those are bank crypto. Oh, those are the banks for the crypto. Yeah, we're not really talking about crypto. We're not really talking about that. I mean, I could be wrong. Let me say it this way. With cryptocurrency. Oh, hold on a second, y'all. I don't know what's going on with this person. I don't know what's going on with this person. But had to get them going. With cryptocurrency, I hear you, and it sounds like that's a passion for you, and definitely go through that journey. I'm not mad at you. Whatever floats your boat. But let me ask you this question: how much wealth, ballpark figure, don't have to be an exact number, how much wealth have you built off of cryptocurrency? You don't have to say it in the chat. I want you to say it to yourself. And this, what I do want you to say in the chat. Give me one. Thank you so much for the gift. Give me one person, just one. I don't want 10, I don't want 20. I just want one person that we can Google that has built wealth, generational wealth, over 200 years worth of wealth off of cryptocurrency. Just give me one person. I appreciate your family. You're not going to need to do that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We're definitely going to talk about it, but this is an opportunity to take the candy and put it in the medicine. But one person, name me one person that has built generational wealth using cryptocurrency with a proven track record of wealth over 200 years. I'll wait. And you can Google it. Attention, I would be a millionaire. I'm with you on that. So let me say it to you this way. Thank you so much for the gifts. Y'all are super key. Power zero is definitely the key. But since we on Google right now, for everybody that's on Google, everybody Google richest person alive. Today, I think Bernard took over Elon Musk's number. I think they did. I think he did. Bernard Arnault, I think, is the richest person alive at $238 billion. Him and Elon Musk go back and forth. Yesterday it was Elon Musk. That's just what it was. They've been going back and forth for a minute. Oh, I know. I definitely know I am Tony. You definitely understand what I'm saying. You are 100% right. It hasn't been around 200 years. YouTube millionaire, TikTok millionaires, etc. Okay, that's fair. But think about what I'm saying. If you Google the richest person alive, it's between Elon Musk and Bernard Arnault, they write it around $238 billion, which is more than being a millionaire, right? We're talking about building generational wealth. Those two individuals, they go back and forth almost every day as the richest people alive. $238 billion is the number. I ain't even looking at what they doing. I'm looking at what the bank's doing. I'm looking at what the wealthy people do. When I say wealthy, I ain't talking about Bernard or Elon. When you Google richest person alive, $238 billion, Elon Musk or Bernard Arnault, right? One of those two. How is it possible that Lord Jacob Rothschild is alive and well, worth $500 trillion, and he ain't on the list? You don't want to be rich. You want to be wealthy. Rich is a number. Wealth is infinity. There is no number. So I hear people talking about this cryptocurrency stuff, and I ain't mad at them. Do what you think is best. But I'm telling you, flat out, I'm only listening to the people that know everything about money, and that's the bank. I'm only listening to the people that know about building generation wealth, people that had wealth in their family for over 200 plus years. I can't go with the new trend. It doesn't even make sense. I'm not trying to get rich. I've done that. I'm not trying to get wealthy quick. I'm trying to get wealthy for sure. So let's go back to the money thing. Do you use your money to pay yourself for your trust? The stuff that I'm talking about, at some point, you're not even going to need money. You're going to operate above money. You're going to operate well above money. So think about this. The rich process, I mean, maybe it can. I don't know. If it works for you, it works for you. That's just not the journey I'm taking. So shout out to you if that's the journey you're taking. But I'm not taking that journey. Not me. Again, I'm a member of 8 different businesses that's going to generate $20 million this year. I ain't thinking about money. I don't earn an income. I just don't. Because I don't need money. I don't have a use for money. It's a different conversation. More important than that, when you leave this planet, even if you got money in the trust, anything over $12.92 million is going to get taxed at 40%, cash-wise. That is the reason why you hear Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. You hear these individuals saying, when I leave this planet, I'm leaving my wealth to a non-profit organization. But when you look at their portfolio, they got policies and they got properties. Properties meaning land. Policies mean whole life insurance policies. They doing what the wealthy people do. They doing what the banks do. And I can tell you flat out, cryptocurrency might be on the list to sell to the 99%, but it ain't on the list for the wealthy people. It's not even close to being on the list. And that's just what it is. I don't know. That's a good question on who owns the nonprofit organization. Go get that book. The revolution will not be funded. I ain't going to get into that, but go get that book. But back to what I'm talking about, right? So you got these 4 buckets. We talked about it. You got the business going. What's happening, family? You got the land going. You got the policies going. Now you got the trust going. Everything that you had personal or everything that's private goes into your trust. That includes your personal checking account and your personal savings account. You no longer have a checking or a savings account. Maybe. Think about that. You ain't got no account. You're authorized using there, but it ain't your account. The roof over your head, if you got a mortgage, you no longer own the home. It's been transferred to your trust. So what does that mean? If you had a mortgage, you ain't got no mortgage no more. Your trust got a mortgage. You ain't got utility bills. The trust paying the utility bills. Because it's the trust bills. But you got to eat every day. I got 35 employees now, y'all. 6 of those 35 employees is me, my wife, and my 4 kids. The other two too young. I feed all my employees every day. That's the one thing they don't have to buy, lunch, ever. Imagine that. You absolutely can, 100%. So you ain't doing it. Trust by itself or LLC under the trust. You don't want to put your LLC in the trust. I got you. I'll explain that too, because I do see a lot of people on social media talking about putting your LLCs in the trust. We'll talk about that. So your trust paying the bills. My employees, they eat every day. Same thing y'all do at y'all job, and I'm gonna tell the story. Ha ha he he. Here come the joke. When you at work and the morale is low, what your job do? Buy y'all pizza, buy y'all wings, a cup of Pepsis, and then they're expensive. I don't let the morale between my employees get down. I buy them lunch every day. That's the one thing they never got to worry about. They eat every day. That's in the business. That's not coming out of the trust. The trust is private. The business is public. So to the question with the LLCs, your business is public. Your trust is the beneficiary of the LLCs. So if something happens to the owner, the member, they pass away for whatever reason, that business is going to get transferred to the trust until the next owner or the next members take over that business. You don't want to put your business in your trust, because if somebody sue your business, they're going to be suing your trust. And your trust is supposed to be private. But if somebody's suing your business, you don't care no way. It ain't never no money there anyway. Your business is going to stay broke. Your business is going to always stay broke. Your business is going to have expenses. Your business is going to, we're going to say taxes. And after that, the money that's left over from your business, you're going to take that all the way down to zero before December 31st. A portion of that money is going to be put into your trust checking account so the trust can pay their bills. You know, that mortgage, those utility bills, the trust bills. They ain't yours no more. The rest of that money that's left over, you're going to dump all of that money to zero by December 31st, and you need to be looking to dump it in land. Why land? Your trust is taxed. When you leave this property at $12.92 million, anything over that number, you're going to get taxed at 40%. So imagine you got a $10 million insurance policy that has a death benefit and a living benefit. And the beneficiary of this policy is not your kids, it's your trust. Ain't no other cash need to be in your trust. Imagine every year you're taking the money put out in a trust checking account to pay your bills. So that's going to go to zero too. Your checking account and your trust going to go to zero. It's every month. Well, not every month. By the end of the year, it'll be at zero until you replenish it next year. The rest of that money is going down to zero from your business into land, and that land going in your trust. When you leave this planet, you got a $10 million policy that's going to fund inside the trust. But you've been buying all this land every year. Your kids going to be fine, because your kids also going to have these $10 million policy on it, or whatever number you can afford. It can be $1 million. It can be $500,000, whatever you can afford. But they're going to have a whole life policy on them. They also going to have their own trust, so that when you pass away, they don't need no money. The business still going to run whether you got a successor or you leave it to your trusted advisor, you know, like the Batman effect. $10 million got funded. What's happening with that $10 million? The kids don't need no money. You done left the planet. You seen those big old acres of land, woods, there's cows over there. You've been seeing this property for years. They ain't never did nothing with it. Then finally somebody build on it. You say somebody bought the property. Didn't nobody buy the property. RIP to the person that left. That $10 million that got funded when I leave, $5 million is going to be to build on the land. You know, build more properties to create more money. $5 million going to build more land. I mean, build more properties, you know, to generate more money. Tenants are going to be doing what? Paying for the property, meaning paying the trust back. Because that's what it is. They paying the money back. And the other portion of that money is going to be buying what? More policies. The other $5 million that was sitting there, what they're doing? Buying $5 million worth of land. The kids don't need no money. They got their own policies. As soon as I have a grandchild, one of my kids have a child, policy on them instantly from the day they born. That's how you build generational wealth. It ain't cryptocurrency. It ain't all these other avenues that people talk about. It's policies and properties. The trust and the business is just the vehicle used to make these things happen. Those two things is what's going to build you generational wealth. You're never going to need money because you're never going to use money. The only use you're going to have for money is to make money. It ain't crypto for now. Things change. Well, I'm with you. Your whole life insurance policy. Why do you get sad right there, Georgina? Talk about it. We can walk through it. I mean, and Drone Trucker, I feel you. If cryptocurrency is the way that you see the future heading, and that's what you see happening, hey, make it happen. Nah, I don't do nothing with helping structure anything. If you're trying to structure a trust, go to an attorney that specializes in trust. If you're trying to get the insurance policies, go to a company. I would say a big company that's been around, somebody reputable, to help you set that up. But I don't do anything like that at all. But if you think cryptocurrency is the way, make it make sense. But here's what I know. Let's just look at facts. That's your prediction of the future. That's amazing. But here's what I know that's facts. Watch this. We know cryptocurrency is volatile. They go up and down all the time. Right now, as we speaking, it's going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, all day, every day. Watch this. Here's when I say the juice got to be worth the squeeze. Watch this. The only two things that I know of, and it's just me, so somebody might enlighten me on something else, but the only two things that I know that go up and never go down is whole life policies and land. Those are the only two things that go up in value. I ain't say homes, I said land. So watch this. I hear you predicting cryptocurrency is the future, and you might be right. But if I'm buying all this land and they not making no more of it, and I got this policies, let's just say the money that we use ain't the money we use no more. And it's cryptocurrency. When I cash in that policy, I'm cashing in for whatever's the most valuable, right? If I sell that land, I ain't never selling it. But if I decide to build something on that land, you're going to need a place to live. You're going to pay me in Bitcoin? So if your prediction is right, it don't impact me either way. Whatever barter system you want to put it up against, It has no impact on it at all. That's the point. You're going up a bold prediction, and then shout out to you. Shout out to you. I ain't mad at you. Do what you do. But here's what I understand. The longer you operate in money, you're going to have your biggest expense on hand, and that's taxes. So you got all this cryptocurrency, and that's amazing. I'm happy we talk about this today because I think this is important. But you got this cryptocurrency that you got. When you cash that cryptocurrency in, what you cashing it in for? Or you just using the cryptocurrency? You're just going to be using cryptocurrency for everything. You go inside the stores and use cryptocurrency. It's getting taxed. And right now, it's getting taxed higher than the highest Fed tax that you can get taxed at. And taxes are going up. So I hear what you're saying. And I understand completely where your heart is at. And it's amazing because this is a safe place and everybody welcome. Gold, silver, platinum, aluminum. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I haven't seen the wealthy walk around with bags of gold or aluminum or platinum. I see gold, aluminum, and platinum go up and down in value all the time. I ain't seen that happen with land or these policies at all. Think about that for a second. More importantly, let's take it a step further. I hear my cryptocurrency people, they be talking that cryptocurrency stuff. They put it in the ground under the vault. Oh my goodness. I'm weak. I'm weak, y'all. I'm going to stop. Look, I hear you talking it and I get it. But here's my question. How many hours this week have you worked? If you work a job. If you got a business, how many hours this week have you worked? If you got a business. If you do cryptocurrency and you trade all the time, how many hours have you worked? I haven't even did 15 minutes this week of work. $70, 4K profit? Yeah. I don't think we're talking about the same thing. With the numbers you just gave me right here, I ain't never put my money in cryptocurrency. 70 hours for $4,000? Is that what you're saying? Maybe I must misread that. I had to misread that. I might well get a job. What the heck? See, the reality of it is this. Anytime you have to trade time for money, you're gonna lose. And it's really just that simple. Oh, you're talking about, oh, okay, you're a truck driver. Okay, all right. I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't make logical sense to me. So what? The cryptocurrency haven't taken off yet? I missed it. Yeah, the juice ain't worth the squeeze to me. Because when you trade time for money, you're going to lose because you're going to run out of time. It just is what it is. Look, I got 11,800 and about 79 more days left on this planet. I'm very deliberate with my time. I just am. Because you're going to run out of time. When you're trading time for money, you're going to lose because you got to sleep. You got to trade your money for time. What I mean by that is you let your money make money. Let your money work to make more money so you don't have to work. I ain't talking about day trading. I think that's gambling. That's just me. It's the next crypto bull run. Okay. Oh. Hey, do what you do, family. But I can tell you flat out, and it's just me. I just gave information out on this platform, starting where you at, how you can build your network to $1.5 million in 1 year. And you ain't guessing with what I'm talking about. You're not gambling on what you're talking about. You're not taking a risk in regards to maybe it will happen or maybe it won't. If you follow that process, I haven't seen anything that outmatch what the banks do. And I definitely ain't seen anything that outmatch what the wealthy people do. I hear what the rich people talking about. I have celebrities that have hit me up, some rich folks trying to figure out what they need to do. All because maybe somebody that heard them. I heard this guy on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever he at. I heard this guy on social media talking about this stuff. It made a lot of sense. You should check them out. And as I was explaining this stuff to these individuals that we say got money, they were lost. You think about how many ball players pick a sport. While they in the league, they get money and they paid. But when they get out the league, they broke. How? That doesn't make logical sense. Nerd out on crypto. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But how are they doing that? But they don't know this stuff. And I can't be mad because I didn't know it. And I worked at the bank for 20 years and didn't know this stuff. I have been blessed to be in proximity. I met my father when I was 21 years old. His best friend, I thought he was a billionaire. I asked him what his net worth was because I thought it was in the billions. And he told me, I don't know what my net worth was, what it is. And he shared with me, he don't have a clue what his net worth was. And I remember a wise man once told me, if you can count your money, you broke. Oh, yeah. Shaquille O'Neal explains that too. He does talk about that too. That's kind of deep. But then he told me he's had wealth in his family for over 400 years. I'm listening to what he talked about because he got a proven track record. I also know he owns 40,000 acres of land. I'm listening to what he's talking about. I hear people talking about all this other stuff, but can't nobody show me any proven track record or anything because it's new. That's the difference. I hear when people be saying all these other things. I get it. But I can't roll the dice. I barely got a high school diploma. I can't roll the dice with something that may happen. I'm trying to make these things happen for sure. There's no other way around it. So I hear people with all these crazy ideas, but the same people with all these different ideas, they still work a regular 9 to 5. They still spending all their time on their business. And I ain't mad at that either, because you got to start somewhere. But you got these big old dreams of all this stuff happening. But what you're doing is counterproductive to what you're saying. I'm actually doing what I say I do in real life all the time. Time is more important than money. That's just the truth. I'm up there at the school today because I take my kids to school every day and pick them up every day. So now I be trying to figure out how to help them at the school because they don't really want me at the PTA meetings no more. At least this year they don't. Because I got time. This morning, I was up there helping with the line for the kids that being dropped off. I was helping with the line. This is this car number. All right, they go to that class. This is this car number. They go to that class. I'm happy with the line this morning, y'all. because I got time. And exactly what you see me have on right now, and a do-rag. I hear these people talking all this other stuff on how to build wealth, how to get rich. I ain't listening to you. I like what I do. In fact, I love what I do. And I ain't talking about no job. I love the fact that my kids see me all day, every day. I love the fact that I get on my wife's nerves a little bit because she's seeing me too much and she give me this free time to come here and talk to y'all. So I hear people talking. Meanwhile, I'm at home in my movie theater, in real life, at the house. I ain't say no movie room. You can't even make this stuff up if you wanted to. And I keep telling y'all, I'm so confident in what I'm talking about works. I'm giving it to y'all for free. I got products. I got services. I own a toilet paper company called Triumph Tissue. 3-ply toilet paper, 200 sheets. The closest thing you can get to wiping yourself with silk. But I ain't on here selling it, y'all, because I sell it to the government. I got a subdivision I'm building down here in South Georgia. 52 homes coming out my pocket, cash. Think about that. We on home number 29. I'll be live this Saturday on home number 29. Think about what I just said. We own 165 acres right now today. Next week, we closing on another 33. Wowzers. I hear what people are talking about, but what I'm talking about, I do in real life. This Saturday, probably around, need to call my brother and see what time we're going to get up. I'm going to call it around noon, around 12, noon, Eastern Standard Time. I'll be live in there again. I hear people talking about this cryptocurrency stuff. I get it, and much love to y'all. But I keep telling y'all, what you think is money and what I think of money, I understand are two different things. What I may think is money, you might not think is money. What you think is money, I might not think is money. I may not. But here's what I know, just to give you a glimpse. Bernard Arnault, richest man alive, $238 billion. Lord Jacob Rothschild, alive and well, worth $500 trillion. He's 2,000 times more wealthier than the richest person alive, and he ain't on the list. I got a vision of following his blueprint. Because if I do what I did when I left Bank of America, I got the mindset, man, I'm going to get this 50% right. I'm going to get me $250 trillion. I was wrong when I did that with Bank of America. I'm hoping I'm wrong when I do it with this. I'm hoping I'm wrong when I jump off the porch. I'm hoping that when I get to that point, I'm wrong and get it 1% right. If I get it 1% right, or with what Mr. Jacob has done and his family, that's still $5 trillion. So I hear what people saying. But we're talking about two different things. There's a different plan for everybody. Because what success is to you is your success. It's your path. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It might be you need to make you $200,000 a year. Got you a little home that you own. You got the nice car you want, and you don't have to worry about paying bills because your bills are taken care of, and you can go on trips like you want. You can dress like you want. You can eat like you like. And that might be what success is to you, and that's okay. What I understand is if you think, if you research, and you take some action, whatever it is that you deem as successful, as long as it's legal, you can make it happen. That's what I know for sure. Because I know I'm not supposed to be here. It doesn't matter what day of the week that you look at my lives, I know I'm not supposed to be in this position. I can remember me, my brother, my sister, and my mom, God rest her soul, and us being raised in a 600 square foot home. 600 square foot home. The four of us was in that crib. If you're talking about for yourself, definitely owning for yourself. Because renting, you know, you're just kind of giving your money away. I know some people say you want to rent where you live and own where you don't. And I get that concept too, but the part that they leave out, they might be renting where they live, but they renting for themselves. Most of the time you hear people say that, that's what they're doing, especially if they got a little money. But a 600 square foot home apartment, that's what that we were raised in. Oh yeah, it was small. It was a small little apartment in the projects. 600 square foot. Think about that. It was four of us. And we had that nerve to have a dog that we found outside that we brought in. We wouldn't even eat every day. Think about that for a second. My mom was on drugs from when I was 3 years old till I was 16, and she got clean for the last 50 years of her life. God rest her soul. I learned a lot from that woman. She told me, in every problem, there's a profit, and it stuck with me forever. So think about that. 600 square foot home in the projects, barely eating every day. Weren't supposed to make it out of that situation. Working at the bank for 20 years, became an executive without a college degree. Y'all, I gotta know something. Now I walk around in a 7,000 square foot home in real life. In real life. My movie theater and my gym was bigger than the apartment I was raised in. But that flex, y'all, I keep telling you, it's not about money. That's not the flex. I keep telling y'all, when my kids wake up, the first person they see, Paw. When my kids go to sleep, the last person they see, Paw. With my wife every day, all day. You ain't never gonna catch me sliding no chick DM on social media. Cause I ain't willing to take 200 plus years worth of wealth out of my kid's mouth. Not for 5 minutes. That math don't math to me. I ain't even intrigued. And I know what people saying. You got eyes. I do got eyes. But I ain't intrigued. Because the reality of it is, I got a reason that I'm doing what I do. I work for my last name, not my first. That's just the truth. Zabo 103 is a business. What does that mean? Business expense, even the polo, business expense. I play a different game. And the game that I play is I'm going to give my kids a head start. I'm going to make sure my great grandkids know who Paw Zabo is. They ain't even going to have to guess. They going to be able to tell you everything about me. Why? Because I'm giving them a head start. But most people can't see the forest from the trees. Most people think they got forever to try to build some wealth. They think they got forever to try to make something happen. You don't. Here's a fun fact. Most people that work a job, and even people that work their business for 20, 30 years and then retire, after 2 years of being retired, they usually got to go back to work. And it's simply because they don't know what money is used for. They think money is used to pay bills, when in fact, money is only used to make money. Don't be fooled by all the stuff you see on social media. Forget what I'm talking about. It's irrelevant. I don't have a proven track record to you guys because I haven't built the wealth just yet to have hundreds and hundreds of years of a proven track record. Do what the banks do. Do what the wealthy people do. They have a track record, hundreds of years of proven track record of these things happening. And they haven't changed the formula. No matter what new trend comes out, their formula remains the same. There's a reason for that. Policies and properties. The only two things that's always going to go up. They don't ever go down. It's amazing how that works. So hopefully this time has been valuable. I know today, oh yeah, you got to start it. You got to start somewhere for sure. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. I'll get on here and I'll go through a rant. I'm going to call it a rant. I'll go through a rant for about an hour or two and chop it up with y'all. And hopefully through me repeating a lot of the stuff that I talk about, that's what's up. Shout out to, oh man, I'm loving it. Shout out to you. Going to see a contract next week. Shout out to you as well. Look, blessings to all of y'all, for real. I think at some point, now I don't have a Facebook group. My wife keep telling me to start a Facebook group because she has a Facebook group. My wife do, but it's for weight loss. And she's a beast, man. She lost over 120 pounds naturally and have shown thousands of people how to lose weight naturally. Oh my goodness. I think right now on TikTok, she has almost 800,000 followers. Kick Weight with Keisha. She has about 800,000 followers on TikTok. Her Facebook group, I think it has about 21,000 members in it. I mean, it's people in there from like 18 all the way. Miss Linda, you down 10 pounds? Shout out to you, Miss Linda. People from all the way 18 all the way up to 70 years old, she got losing weight. I mean, she's a beast, man. Down in Macon, where the properties are at. But yeah, she and it's like a lot of people be hearing her with, and I'm gonna get off after this. A lot of people hearing her with, you had surgery. Let me see your stomach. And she like, let me see your stomach. That's crazy. So, she like, I did it naturally. And keep in mind, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because I don't know no other way to be. She wanted to get surgery. I wouldn't let her. I told her, we got a gym in our crib. And what she did, it wasn't even about her working out. It was about how she ate. That's the part that was scary. And I told her if she wanted bad enough, she'll do something about it. And what she turned it into was an animal. Hold on a second, y'all. What she turned it into, yeah, that's my wife. What she turned it into was was something amazing. She went on this journey, y'all, and here's what's scary about her journey. She documented every step of the way on YouTube. She got about 250 videos on YouTube document every single week of her journey. So every time somebody say you had surgery, like, nope, go to YouTube. You can see the full journey. You see me weighing in. You see my stomach. You see everything. You see the weight falling off. But you know what she did, y'all? She was thinking. She was researching, and she took some action. I'm telling y'all, this is a secret to everything you're trying to do. It's amazing, y'all. So shout out to her for doing what she's doing. I know she was live earlier today. She might go live. Actually, she might go live in a minute, knowing her. She's going to be in some part of the house. I'm not sure what part of the house she's going to be in, but if she go live, I'll hop on there with her. Not kick weight with Keisha. But shout out to her. But again, I hope this time was helpful. Yeah, Kick Weight with Keisha. Yeah, you can go there. Kick Weight with Keisha on TikTok. Kick Weight with Keisha on Instagram. YouTube is Kick Weight with Keisha. Facebook group is KWWK Gang. I've even lost about 84 pounds doing exactly what she teach. And man, she, man, I can talk all day about that woman. But look, I'm gonna get up off here, y'all. I'll be back on probably sometime tomorrow. But again, I'll be live in home number 29 this Saturday. We're gonna probably say around noon. I should be on, so definitely turn on your notifications on any of these platforms. The only platform I won't be on because I can't be on at the exact same time is these 6 platforms that are right here. So I think that's like YouTube, Facebook, and then like 4 other platforms. I can't be live at the same time on that. And then on TikTok and Instagram, if you're not following me on TikTok and Instagram, follow me at Zabo103. Most likely for my Instagram family, if you're not following me on TikTok, definitely follow me on TikTok at Zabo103. TikTok, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me at Zabo103. I will be live on one of those 2 platforms on actually probably just one because I don't want to split it up. Most likely I'm just gonna I don't know which one I'm gonna do. Follow me on both of them, put your notifications on, and when I go live, y'all will be able to see it. So look, y'all be good or have fun being bad, and I'll see y'all on the other side of the sun. Peace.